Most men you see every day are weak, distracted, and invisible. They're constantly on their phone, they've got porn tabs open, no discipline, and no self-respect. And here's the harsh truth. If you do not fix this, you will stay overlooked your entire life. By women, by peers, and even by yourself. Men don't lack motivation, they lack discipline and identity. The worst part about motivation is it comes after watching some video or some reel and someone gets a short burst of inspiration for about 2 to 5 minutes, and then they go on and they're completely distracted by their lives, by their phones or the porn tabs that are open. And this is just a repeat cycle that people are just stuck in. They keep using social media and they keep getting these instant spikes of inspiration, think they're going to make a change, and then before you know it, they're just caught back in that vortex. They keep starting and then they keep quitting. The self-trust is just destroyed. Confidence isn't a mindset. It's just the proof that you can actually rely on yourself and trust yourself. Women or your work friends, normal friends, families, they can all see straight through your weaknesses. I'm going to give you a 3-phase reset that changed my life completely. And if it did it for me, then maybe it could work for you. Phase 1 is a discipline reset. Phase 2 is an identity upgrade, and phase 3 is about attraction and leadership. So if you watch this to the end and you watch all these phases, expect an immediate shift, because these are some of the most practical steps that I'm about to give you from someone that's had first-hand experience of going from being weak, distracted, and invisible to now highly noticed, traveling the world, have online businesses, famous friends. Went from absolutely nothing to this lifestyle now, and I'm going to just tell you exactly what worked for me, because it may actually work for you and it could perhaps change your entire life. So stick around to the end. Phase 1 is the foundation, which is the discipline reset. You need to cut distractions, build energy, build a good routine, and start building good habits. The very first thing that you want to do when you're ready for a change and you've got a clear goal of what you want to achieve is to cut out the distractions. Don't think it's that difficult to think about what your distractions are. They are blatantly obvious. You're either addicted to gaming, you're addicted to using your phone after you finish work, or you're addicted to porn, or you just eat shit junk food every single day. Your life may be a complete mess and you know it, and you know exactly what you need to do. Now, I'm just here because I'm going to help you identify it and help you start moving forward to actually take these things out of action. So I want you to get a pen and paper, and I want to simply give you 2 minutes to just write down the obvious distractions that are holding you back right now. So pause this video and take a minute to think about your biggest distractions and write them down on a piece of paper now. Okay, now you've identified your weak habits. This is the fun part, and actually one of the easier parts. All we're simply going to do is we've now realized how much time we waste with these distractions. We're now just going to replace it with obvious habits that move us closer towards our goals. Whether we want that girlfriend, whether we want that family, whether we want that dream job, whatever it may be, we're going to think of the good habits that are now going to start to move us forward to that goal on a day-to-day basis. And this is where you're going to build serious energy and serious confidence. For instance, say you work the 9 to 5 and your job is to create your own business. Now, you work the 9 to 5, you come home, you're tired from work, and you sit on your bed and you doom scroll for an hour. It's a whole fucking hour that's been wasted, okay? And you do that every day in that vicious cycle with those fake dopamine hits. Time to wake up and actually replace it for stuff that's going to move you towards your goal. So let's say your goal is to build a business and you do the doom scrolling for an hour after your 9 to 5. What you're going to do now is you've got the awareness that that's your trap and that's where you fall into. So now when it comes to the following day, you're going to use that 1 hour to do something practical to move towards that goal. You do not have to have this figured out in big steps, and this is why so many people procrastinate. What I would do if I were you is I would leave your phone on the bed, not even in sight, pull up your laptop and just say, for this 1 hour, I'm going to sit here on the computer and just figure out what I can do to move forward towards my business. This is what I done, and it may work for you. I literally just sat there for an hour and I formed the discipline that I wasn't allowed to use my phone, and even if I got nothing done, I got nothing done, but I stayed there for an hour. Funny truth is, 9 times out of 10, I always did something that actually moved me forward. Start small. Think about the business names that you want to create for your business. Think about the type of customers that you want to help, how you actually want to contribute to this world and make it a better place. Just think small and start small, and then you will gradually increase more and more. Now, something that's a little opposite, if you have a bad habit like smoking, for instance, that's just stupid and it's absolutely killing your health, then you would change it for something a little bit more practical that's going to be actually healthy for you. So instead of walking outside every single hour to take 10 to 15 minutes to do a cigarette, you're still gonna walk outside, but for 10 to 15 minutes, you're gonna form the habit of doing deep breathing. Because one gives you fake relaxation and it absolutely destroys your health, and the other one actually allows you to feel peace and mental clarity. And both of them are the same things when it just comes to deep breathing. But the smoker is deep breathing fucking toxic shit, whereas the person that's deep breathing pure oxygen is just feeling so much better. It's the simple stuff that we know that is so stupid that we do day in and day out that is so easily to just shift these habits. When you start to increase your awareness, you will realize how stupid some of us are with the traps that we fall into. Once you start to commit to these promises that you keep to yourself, just small steps day in and day out, you will notice that your confidence will just start to skyrocket. Within about a week, you will feel completely different to who you once were when you actually started this journey. You need to understand that all good things take time. And this is actually the exciting part, because so many men are weak and so many men are distracted. It's so easy to win now. And that part should really excite you, because it did for me. It gave me this advantage and this leverage, knowing that if I formed the simple habit of discipline, 99% of men fucking suck at this, that I'm going to have an advantage over all of them to actually start fulfilling my dreams. Wake up. It's actually easier now than ever. Once you start to form these good habits, whether it's healthy nutrition, the gym, meditation, you're going to notice that your whole energy is going to start to shift. You're going to wake up way more alert, way higher energy, and you're going to start enjoying every single day a lot more. You will realize that 99% of your mental problems, anxiety and depression will start to vanish just by focusing on these three things. Yes, you can get caught up in dark places, brain fog and all that type of thing. I've been there. I've been eating junk food. I used to drink all the time. I knew what it was like to be caught up in my mind, beating myself up, thinking there was no way out, thinking I needed professional help. Total bunch of bullshit. Get your health in order, hit the gym, focus on the meditation, focus on the healthy eating, and you will notice that 99% of these problems will start to vanish. Phase 2 is identity and confidence upgrade. You want to learn how to rewire your self-image. You want to learn how to develop presence, and most importantly, how to communicate effectively. Look, I go into a lot more detail with this with my students, but I'm going to give you just a brief overrun on how you can actually do this by yourself to make a massive shift. When it comes to rewiring the self-image, this is a fun part. It's really, really exciting. If you're not happy with who you are or where you're at, I've got good news for you. You can change, because I did. 5 years ago, I was addicted, I was socially anxious, and now I'm running businesses, traveling the world. My whole life's totally different. If I can do it out of all people, then so can you. Now you need to rewrite your self-image. It's not easy to begin with, but it gets easier and easier the more that you build momentum. Here's what I would do, the quickest way to rewire your self-image. Sit on your bed at night 20 minutes before you go to sleep, when your subconscious is the most active, and actually start to visualize who you actually want to be. Do you actually want to be that great, happy, healthy father? Do you want to be that strong businessman that runs a team of 50 people? Who do you want to be? How do you speak to your friends? How do you speak to your family members? How do you speak to the women around you? How do you walk? What's your body language like? How's your eye contact? What are the first thoughts you have when you wake up and you get out of bed? How are you feeling when you're driving your car to work that day? What are the type of thoughts does that future man have? Really paint this picture crystal clear of that man that you want to be. Take 20 minutes. Now for the first 5 minutes, just do deep breaths, get into a relaxed state, and then for the next 15 minutes, start to visualize of who you want to be. This is one of the quickest ways to change your self-image. The reason being is our minds can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. So if we keep playing these thoughts in our mind over and over again and painting them clearer, before we know it, we've actually manipulated our own brains to becoming this better version of ourselves. And then we'll wake up and we'll naturally just start to feel more positive. You will start to notice all these external things will start to shift because you're shifting your internal. Now, how to develop presence? There's many things, many ways to develop presence. If I was to give you a short, sharp answer, I would say learn to listen more instead of talking. I used to be a massive chit-chatter. I absolutely hated silence. I was always talking and it was just absolute trash. I realized that I was seeking validation. People didn't really respect me and I was absolutely invisible. These days when I go to social settings, I do about 80% listening and 20% talking. I ask powerful questions, let the person speak. I actually listen to everything they've got to say because it tells me a lot about that person, and if it's someone that I can connect with, and if it's someone that I actually want them in their life. Funny thing is, fast forward to 5 years now, when I go to these social settings, I have so many people asking me for my contact details after, asking what my Instagram is, what my WhatsApp is, and I wasn't even talking that much. I was listening 80% of the time and talking 20%. This gives you extremely strong presence. You let people be the hero of their own story, and they will just naturally gravitate towards you, and they will want you in their life. The truth is when you take the pressure off yourself of trying to be the center of attention and thinking that you need something important to say, it's a load of shit. I'll tell you this right now. The most interesting person in the room is actually the most interested. It takes all the pressure away. I used to be extremely socially anxious, so if you copy this, I guarantee you that it will help you as well. The next thing is communication. Communication, there's so many ways to develop your communication skills. However, what I would say in a whole, if you don't have good communication skills, it's likely because you lack confidence, you're socially anxious, and you're completely distracted like I once was. So I know exactly how you feel. And once and for all, you can change it dramatically, and it compounds year after year. There is many ways to change your communication skills, but I would say the quickest way to become a better communicator is start talking to absolutely everyone. The reason being is I was socially anxious and I was trying to avoid conversations left, right, and center. The more that I was avoiding, the more socially anxious I became. I became isolated, I started to lose relationships, and I got into a dark place, and I realized that it was pretty lonely. I was always caught and trapped in my head. I knew the only way out was, no matter how much of a fool that I looked and how scared I looked, that I would still just try to connect with everyone and anyone, no matter how socially anxious I was, how distracted I was. Because I was so insecure and had such a big fear of judgment from my past life of being an absolute fucking mess, constantly drinking. I realized that I had so much shame underneath when it came to meeting these sober, healthy people. I thought that they were just on this pedestal and I was someone that was trying to, transition into their life. And when I was getting into these conversations, I just felt a lot of shame, a lot of embarrassment, and it was tough. It was tough. The reality is all these people that are happy and healthy, they're just comfortable within their own skin. They're not judging you. 9 times out of 10, they're actually just focused on themselves because they've built a strong enough identity. They're just focused on the next thing that they're going to do. If you want to develop good communication skills and you want to do it quickly, just start talking to everyone and don't be afraid that you look stupid, because the price of confidence is the price of embarrassment. Now, when you understand this and you just start talking to everyone and anyone, you will realize that 9 times out of 10, way more people like you, and way more people want to be friends with you. At the end of the day, this world is a friendly place, and you're going to find that a lot of people love you for who you are. And if they don't, they're lost. Keep continuing on your path. Phase 3 is attraction and lifestyle. Become magnetic socially, become respected at work, and become noticed by women. Now, each one of these topics, there's many things on how to improve these topics. But once again, let's go short and sharp and just give you a quick overview of how you could actually improve each one of these situations. How to become magnetic socially. I would say the exact same, going back a step, be 80% of a listener and 20% of a talker. If you want to become magnetic socially, you want to understand that you do not need approval from anyone, okay? You want to understand it is an internal game. You should therefore approve yourself and be comfortable within your own skin, that if you go to these social events and if anyone doesn't like you or they're pissed off at you, that you're unshakable and you do not give a flying fuck whether they respect you or not. When you can become internally secure, that is when you're going to become unshakable and therefore extremely magnetic. There is so many ways to do this, but that in a nutshell is the number one tip that I would focus on, which is becoming internally secure and approving of yourself. And how you would do this is simply staring at yourself in the mirror. This was something that I felt really awkward to do to begin with. I would look at myself in the mirror for 15 minutes every morning and evening because I did not like the image that I saw. Now I absolutely love it. So when you look in the mirror and you start to claim your new identity, I am a successful man. I am a goal-orientated, intelligent, honest, and humble man. Once you start to claim these qualities and your brain starts to change, eventually you'll become internally secure and you'll also become unshakable. The good thing to know is I was extremely socially anxious and I was so far from that, but I've now become the complete opposite. If I can do it, so can you. How to become respected at work? It's simple. being disciplined, showing up on time, giving your 100% best effort. No matter what your job is, you should be putting 100% effort into that with a positive attitude, even if it's the thing that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. You're going to figure out of those work hours how you're going to escape that. But even with the work that you do right now, no matter what job it is, you should be showing up with a 100% positive attitude. Your peers will respect you much more. Your boss will probably give you pay rises and everything will change. I used to be a mopey little fucking sook when I was working in construction, thinking I hate this, I don't want to be there. And that negative energy radiated everywhere. All the people disrespected me, all the people didn't like me, and the workplace became even more of a fucking living hell. Now, when I went into another job in an office, I was going in there, I was walking with a pep in my step, I was excited to be there. Before I knew it, I was employee of the month. Everyone wanted to be friends with me. I had this positive attitude towards work because I was working outside of work on my actual own dream. You need to understand what you want and you need to put 100% effort in every single day. How to become more noticed by women is simple. Just work on yourself. Don't go around having day game trying to chase lots of women like I once did. I was once a super weak man when it came to just constantly picking up girls, going on dates non-stop, and I was neglecting my own ambitions and my own goals and my own mission. Funny thing is I hid away for 2 years and thought, I'm going to break this. I'm not going to let girls be my distraction. I'm going to focus on my business, focus on my goals, focus on my health. When I did that, naturally 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10 started radiating towards me. It was crazy. Like the quality of women was like 10 times more than what I was attracting into my life before. And I was quite confused what was happening because I wasn't even really approaching them. I would just be in these places and I'd be focused on my goals or my mission, but I would notice extremely beautiful women just smiling at me, wanting my attention. And now the funny story is I'm dating a Russian supermodel. And 2 years ago, if you said that I was going to be in this position, I would think no way in the world. When I started focusing on my mission and my values, it changed, and now I've attracted an extremely beautiful girlfriend, not just only physically attractive, that is extremely intelligent, hardworking, and a great quality lady that absolutely respects me. 5 years ago, I was lost, distracted, stuck in bad habits. Now I'm winning in business, health, and relationships because I rebuilt my discipline and my identity. You need to understand this. Your discipline and your identity is the gateway to whatever you want to achieve. Whether it's you want to start that business, attract that dream girl, start that beautiful family, you need to understand all these things are over here, and changing your discipline and your identity is going to open up all these gates that you can choose whatever you want. So many people overlook this. Do not. Please. This isn't theory. I've lived it and now I coach men through it. If you want to wake up disciplined, walk into rooms respected, have women notice you without even chasing or putting in any effort, and wake up and finally be proud of the man that you see in the mirror, if this hits you and you're done being overlooked, then join my free community below. Otherwise, if you're serious about this and you want to make an immediate shift, then book a call below and we can sort out your very own personalized 90-day plan. And don't just take my word for it. I've helped people that are completely invisible to also people that are famous. Don't just take my word for it. This is what one of my students had to say.
My name is Julius Dean, and I've got over 70 million followers. But a few months ago, I felt flat, unmotivated, out of shape, no drive. DMs were dead. I looked successful, but I didn't feel like a man. And then Hayden gave me this system: cold showers, heavy training, real food, real accountability. And within 60 days, I was shredded, dialed in. My testosterone was through the roof. I wasn't chasing girls anymore. They were chasing me. And the craziest part, I didn't just become someone new. I just reconnected with the man I'm meant to be. It's not about clout. It's about masculine energy, how you carry yourself, how you show up. This rebuilt mind from the inside out. So if you're feeling off, like you've lost that edge, don't ignore it. Check this out. If you've lost your edge, this is how you get it back.